Hello, and welcome once again to my study for another Church Without Boundaries on a Monday evening. Um, I'm running out of the week numbers now, so yeah, let's move on. You're probably aware by now that in this month of June we are looking at the theme of holiness, and it's that theme that I thought I would continue to work with today. I don't know about you or what your understanding of this term holiness is, which is sometimes linked to the terms discipleship, or sanctification even. Big long word, okay, which you may have come across. As I said, I'm not quite sure how you view this particular subject, but from where I've come from, I'd sort of really understood that there was an awful lot of work that was required to become holy, and that depended an awful lot on me. Really interestingly, the book that we are using to sort of help guide us in this coming year is a book written by Paul Ellis, and it's called The Gospel in 10 Words, and it's been challenging. My thinking an awful lot, and we as a group of elders have been looking at this book and thinking about what it says. Just to sort of give you a bit of a flavour, I thought that I'd read part of what Paul Ellis has to say about holiness in chapter 6, and it reads as follows. It says, "True holiness is breathtaking, yet most Christians don't know what it is. They know they're supposed to be holy or sanctified, but they've been offered an imitation brand of holiness that is a shadow of the real thing. They've been told sanctification is like gym membership. You've got to sign up, make a commitment, and work at it. Don't expect instant results. The gym instructors say because the process of becoming holy is a work of gradual development. It takes time, and there's no guarantee you'll ever make it. But keep coming to class and handing over your money, because without holiness, no one will see the Lord." And he goes on to explain that this is not a correct view of holiness. And we're going to explore that a little. But before we do, I thought that I'd just mention the fact that in many ways, I don't know about you, but I read something like this and I think, ooh, hang on a second. Is this right? This is different to what I've understood. And so I'd like us to sort of think about, where would you go from here? And I thought it might be just helpful to share with you a little something about where I've gone. Now, naturally, being a big internet user, I tend to sort of gravitate towards the internet, and I've sought to find out more about this view of holiness. And I would encourage you to do the same, but I would like to sort of share one or two things with you before you embark on this little exploration. First of all, I would recommend that you seek out reliable sources of information. Use web pages, not social networking sites. Social networking sites have got algorithms that are built into them so that it will deliver to you things that you already like. So it would, if you like something, it would deliver more of that stuff, which is not necessarily helpful when you're trying to explore all of the different avenues. Secondly, I would suggest you actually use these websites. Use websites, but reliable websites. If I'm searching for information about current events, I'll very often use the BBC News website and other websites similar to that. For this sort of thing, I tend to sort of stick to the major denominations and not get sidetracked by some of the smaller websites. And there are other websites like Bible.org and so on. So, using different websites, we can explore and cross-check the ideas that we're researching. Once we've actually done that, it's going to be very helpful if we test out what we've discovered as we share our new understanding with other experienced Christians. Underlying all of that, we in many ways have to be prepared to have our thinking challenged and changed. The ideas that I'm sharing with you now about holiness, discipleship and sanctification are different to what I've understood for many years. And this does not only apply in our Christian life, but in other ways too. The way in which we now think about asbestos, cigarettes, and even plastic has now changed in recent years. And that information, as we receive it, that knowledge actually informs our behaviour. It's very interesting that I'm sure many of us are not using single-use carrier bags to carry stuff home from the supermarket these days. A lot of us are actually using recyclable bags. And that is true also for our knowledge and our understanding of the Bible. And this may also be true about your understanding of holiness. To help you on your journey, I've put on the screen just up here some links to some websites that you might find helpful in your voyage of discovery on holiness. So I'd like you to sort of think about this subject of holiness. But before we finish, I'd like to sort of refer to just a couple of passages of scripture found in the first letter of Peter. If we look at 1 Peter chapter 1 and verse 15, it says this: "But just as he who called you is holy, so be holy in all you do. For it is written, be holy, because I am holy." And in 1 Peter chapter 2 and verse 9 it says, "But you are a chosen people, a royal priesthood, and a holy nation, a people belonging to God, that you may declare the praises of him who called you out of darkness into his wonderful light." When we read these words, we can read them in two ways. Firstly, we can read them from the point of view that we've got to struggle and to strive to be holy. But we would never achieve it. We cannot be holy as God is holy by our works and by our struggling and straining alone. No. The only way is if we receive the gift of holiness from God himself. And just as grace is given to us and is a gift of unmerited favour, we also have to receive the gift of holiness as well. And we have to receive that gift. We cannot struggle and strain to achieve the required level of holiness. We will never do it. Dear friends, in the coming days, I urge you to explore this subject of holiness, to appreciate the fact that we will never achieve holiness by our own works, by striving to be good, by striving to be better. We must receive holiness from God. It is a gift, and it's one that I'm only just learning about. Let's learn about it together. Bless you. Have a great week.